We are here for another match in this year's VP4 2020 World Straight Pool Championships, and a disastrous break from Fulldrische, whom I've never seen play before, and I don't even know where he's from. Germany against Mooncake from the Netherlands, and well, race to 200. So, judging from that, Fulldrische needs to work on the break. Good evening. It's locked up straight away. Now, while he's locked up there, just give me a sec to get this tournament up. Welcome everybody. The latest I heard, unless something's changed in the bracket, is that Eddie sent me a message talking about the 25th or the 26th, so Christmas Day or Boxing Day, whatever time that will be, I don't know. Whether it's more likely to be US time. It won't matter, I'll be off those 2 days. So whether it's going to be nearer our time or the States time, I'll be able to get it recorded anyway. As long as I know it's on, I'll be there. So Mooncake's visit is over. Fulldrische gets a chance to make a better impression than he did with that break off. Now let me just tab back out to this and try and get the page up. You'll see how long this bloody thing takes to load. This is what it's like for me all the time, this internal browser. It's just so slow. Right, let's get this up so we know where we stand. Of course I would have done all this before we started, but now we're waiting in the bracket loading. Right, let's have a quick look across. Well, Keith and Fantastic Mr. Fox are still to arrange, and there's nothing done for Stub either, so there's been no change since I last looked at it. Right, we'll worry about that later. Yeah, it's always slow. What, is there another match on? Or have they already played? I got a quick drink. Well, we'll be able to make a quick judgment on how Fulldrische tries to run this table. He's already out of line, I think. My mouse is going too quick again, so he's having to play the combo, although he hasn't called anything yet. I'm all confused. Hopefully he's not reading mine where I cocked it up. Well, again, it's just proof that you know, he's played probably what, a couple of games, maybe 3 or 4 games of straight pool in his time in virtual pool. Probably maybe entered a tournament once or something like that, or a couple of games. So this is what happens to a lot of players. Most players are in the same boat in that respect, but if you don't play the game, then you're not used to, I mean, he's probably just played 9-ball most of the time. If he'd been playing 8-ball, certain versions, then he would have known how to call a shot. But it doesn't help if I tell him to control an M for miscall. Yeah, that's probably the reason. Yeah. And whatever points he's dropped from 1500 have just been, you know, a game of straight pool that he fancied playing, and then that's it. I'd be willing to bet he's not played many games of straight pool in his stats. Well, Mooncake is getting a bit sloppy here, regardless of what he thinks he's up against. He's just getting a bit sloppy. Well, what we need is we need Boris in here to explain this in German to him. Press escape, bring up the menu like that. Mind you, obviously I'm not in the game. No, it doesn't work on my side. Well, that's going to be good for a rules infraction later on in the match, isn't it? Especially when he pots a ball and then he can't miscall, and he hasn't nominated it. That's going to cause a fight. But I mean, what can he be doing wrong if he's pressing the 2 buttons at the same time and he's saying they're not working? And another scratch by Mooncake. Yeah, really sloppy start here. I mean, after the way he won, it was his last match, wasn't it, against Bedhead? That was the last match he played. And this is not good. Once you get the head screwed on, because this could end up sloppy all night, and we'll be here for 2.5 hours. Under settings, it was mouse ×1. What the hell's he done with his key mapping then? His key mapping must be all over the shop. Now, see when see at the end of a rack, once it's re-racked, I haven't noticed, but when the player's about to take his first shot in the next rack, is the clock still ticking, or is it a bit like a break shot where the clock isn't ticking or something like that? I've never noticed that, but maybe that would be a good time to actually get this guy to actually find out how his buttons are set so that he can call. I presume it says in the instructions, the information on the tournament page, that it is a call shot game. and therefore you'd expect that somebody who's not familiar with it would have read the rules, and then understand that, and then if there's anything they're not sure about, they would ask. He says it works now. I've just noticed. Anyway, well, Mooncake wants to get his act together here, because what we've seen so far has been poor and sloppy and careless. That sounds like a team of solicitors. Oh, so they're moving your furniture, so bits have gone missing. Anyway, it's 10 points all. And we have a break ball. 13 ball is good. Well, I'm really tired. I mean, that's why I was late for my dinner, because I was up at 2:30 this morning, finished at 10 o'clock, got home, had a snack, cup of coffee, and fell asleep in front of the TV, and was consequently late getting my dinner. Well, here's the break shot. Let's see how he manages to control this cue ball. He's lucky that didn't run into the pocket. It could have got the wrong kick there and ended up in. And there's one problem right adjacent to him, the 8 ball and the 10 ball, and they're going to have to move because nothing's set there. He might try and just chip it now off this 5. Yeah, he's tried to get a little rub on the 10 there, no joy. And of course the other issue becomes greater because the balls adjacent to that 10 and 8 are disappearing, so it then becomes more urgent to get some sort of nudge one way or the other, anything just to disturb the two of them, because that's jeopardising any possible continue. Stop, get this match arranged for Christ's sake. I mean, this is just totally pissing people about. Get it up on the bracket. So let's look at the angle he's got here. He might even try it off the 6. I don't even know whether he can get there. No. So there's nothing any good with the shot that he's got right now to disturb that 8 and 10. So a closer look at the 8 and 10. Well, that, I mean, these pockets can be cheated. Whether you could actually get the hit on that 8 and actually go in, I have my doubts because it's so tight. Now he's going to try it. He's definitely going to try it. And he needs to watch he doesn't draw into the pocket. He's missed it again. So he's had a couple of goes. He's failed on him. This is his last chance. Off the 3. Got to do it this time, and the 3 ball would have been the possible break shot, but it's the one he needs to play unless he thinks he can get there off the 7. But the angle from the 3 is a lot more natural to just maybe stun across and chip that 10 and 8. The 9 ball is not great, but it's better than nothing, and that's finally dealt with the problem, and that was cutting a bit fine. So the run goes to 20. The 9 ball would be an acceptable break shot. It's halfway up the pack as you look at the triangle there, if you can see it. And he's almost got there on the 7. Now needs to get a good angle though, so he's going to have to work the cue ball here if he's going to get that on the 9, and that will do. Again, this does not need to be slammed, it just needs to be potted, and then the angle will take care of it. And the cue ball's running loose again. You know, you don't have to hit them quite as hard. And he's struggling for a shot here. He might have to try and clip that. What the hell ball's that there? That's the 13. What's he looking at up there? Why is he not looking at the 13? You can feather that and it'll go in. Why is he looking at something here? There's nothing on there. Oh, he's played the 4. That's a good shot. I'm wondering what the hell he was doing down that side. I'm too busy looking at the 13. Oh dear, I've started yawning again. Missiles looted. Well, in that case, if that other match is on, we'll drop in and have a look at it and just see how things are going. I don't know, did it start at the same time as this one, or was it started earlier? Mind you, it must have started earlier, because I think you said they were about 50 odd or something. It couldn't have started at the top of the hour then. Cue ball's just running away. He's got the 14. And the issue as you look at the table from this end is now going to be the 5 and 1. We've got the 3 balls lined in the triangle. They're all going to go, but he has to pick off one of those balls. Ideally it would have been probably the 1 ball, but either will do. Well, it was a none too impressive start, shall we say. Let's hope he's warming up. That needs to run. If it run a wee bit further, he could have comfortably took that 1 ball. So again, It's a similar situation to the two balls that were locked up in the last rack. It's just dealing with this problem here, and running out of balls to do it. Now you can try this time off the 8, and that will do it, although he's now got a bigger problem again. He's still got the emergency backup there of the 13, but he's got to now come back and try and somehow get on this one ball. Right, so that's now become a bigger problem. The draw across to the right should give him a shot, as long as he doesn't block himself off with a 5 ball, unless he wants to use the break ball to break those two. You can still make the cut. If you can do that, that would be ideal. And now he's gone too far. He's just going a wee bit further up the table than he would like, but all now down to that critical final shot for position, and he's missed that by the country mile, all because he just went too far up the table. So the run ends on 36. The lead is 42-10. Let's have a quick jump across here to see where we are. Where's that match? Tommy, you... Where is he? There's the Mooncake match. Is it in the one-loss side? I've totally forgotten. I'm looking up and down the winner's side. Where is it? Ah, there we are. Right, let's have a quick look in here. Well, we've got Viking, who somehow has managed to get a rating down to 1084, which suggests that they've never ever won a straight pool match. So Tommy, you should be well in front here. That's the only way you can get down to 1084, is simply not winning anything. So he breaks the 100, just 50 away. Let's just see if he can get to this break shot. He's going to be hard pushed to do that, because this is a tough one. He's going to leave in this 6 ball, and now it's in the middle of no man's land, so I don't know what the hell he tried there. Looked as if he was trying to get across to take the 9, but he's left it tough. So it looks as if it'll just be a matter of time before Tommy gets over the line. Now where's is Tommy Germany, I think, is he? Yes, and Viking is from Canada. Now there's a good break ball, I think. Is it, or is it too thin? No, I think if you just play to pot it, you've got to hit the pack. I don't think you can avoid it. Well, he's going for safeties. Well, that match will have a long way to go. Right, so we'll go back in to the match that we were dealing with. If I can find it again, it's a scroll to get there, and I don't think there's been a great deal of change. Mooncake on 48, but he's scratched after just a run of 6, so He's looking for a lot better consistency, Mooncake, if he's going to make any impact later on in this tournament, assuming he gets through this match, because there's not a lot to impress so far. That might be end of visit. It looks very likely. He's going to try the combo. Good evening. Well, I could let somebody else be diplomatic, because I'll just tell you the way it is. Well, this is not anywhere near as good at all as any sort of break shot where this cue ball sat, and the angle that he's got, and the line that the cue ball wants to take. And that will do though. Now, has he got a shot? Yep, 11 ball is on. I see that was just taking absolutely no time to set yourself, line it up properly, and then just playing it with draw for no apparent reason. So you can see where the limitations are here. Now, who's lined up to play next, assuming that Mooncake goes through? Mooncake will play the winner of Semi-Pro, Acero or Wanwa. You know something, more and more I'm getting the feeling that Wanwa doesn't want to play Acero. I'm getting the impression that that's the case, or the match would have probably been arranged by now. And I've yet to see Acero, well, I can't remember Acero not turning up when a match has been arranged. But I think Fan, as he says his name is I think he's bottling out. Because he'll have he should be aware that Acero is not to be trifled with. Like I've said before, it's all very well having a big rating in any game. You can have a big rating, but when it comes to entering a big tournament, then you've got to then produce the goods. So we will see if it actually takes place, or it ends up in a forfeit. Although, having said that, I haven't seen a. I'll say that again. Excuse me. I haven't seen Acero in the lobby. Not that he's the type to just hang around the lobby and hopefully meet a player. I think he understands the way the system works. So he's assuming. I'm assuming he's waiting in a contact email, or he sent one and had no reply. But we don't know. We can't ask either. But if I see one of them, I'll be asking them. So it's Mooncake that's stretching away here. All these contributions that he's making are a lot more than his opponent's going to be making, so again it's just a matter of time. And luckily the 10 ball is there, or that was dead. Well, I think he got that rating. I think there was a point where the ratings were broken, and that's why like Tornado Tam and VP Monster have got 2,700 ratings in Cowboy as well. There was a period of time, I think, where the ratings weren't quite right and people's ratings were shooting up, and then as far as I know, Steve sort of fixed it, but never fixed the ratings on those that had got them away up high. But you know, there's no point in having a big rating if you can't reflect that in a tournament. It means absolutely nothing. Again, that's going to conflict on the stats on straight pool as well, because you've got people whose potentially their straight pool high run's going to jump up by a margin from what it would have been, comparing what generally most people were playing on when it was the narrow pockets. That's why when Steve left the 10 ball table as an option for snooker, that's why I said to him, I says, well, there's no point in having the ratings and having your statistics affected by playing snooker on the 10-foot table, because that just gives you then false statistics. Well, the inevitable happened there, didn't it? Mooncake hasn't learned anything. I mean, he had a ball there in the table that he could have tried to play on, and he took, well, the usual option: let the cue ball run all over the place, see where it goes, and then of course it finds the hole again. Oh dear. Well, it might end up being the 5, because I think everything else is within the boundaries of the triangle. So the 12 ball's not a great ball where it's at. So the 5 ball may well be it, provided he can tidy up the middle of the table. You know what I think they should actually do? I think they should clear out all the ratings. There should be like a purge in ratings every so often. That's what I think. Because there's certain people as well who've got big ratings in English billiards, and I think that was a similar issue, was it not? When the ratings were broken. Well, here's the break shot. I don't know whether that's... He might have to go across 2 rails here. I don't think he can make it in one hit. He might try too hard here. Yeah, he managed to catch it. But how's he doing? He's got one. Well, he's got an easy combo, so that's even better. Oh, I think if the ratings were actually removed altogether, I think Wanwell would leave Virtual Pool 4. I think he's obsessed with him. I think he would quit. Look, what tournament was it he was in? And I was streaming it, and I told him. I mean, I got a huge long email from him, or a message from him, because he'd been listening to he'd watched the stream, and let's just say that my opinion was questionable about his rating for the particular game and the particular tournament he was in, and the fact that it wasn't that impressive, and I got his whole life story. That's how serious he takes his ratings. Well, that's a good idea. What Bedhead's saying, to show you whether you're going up or down, and whether your percentages are getting better or getting poorer. That'd be one good idea. It gives you something to go for, rather than bottom feeding just to get the odd point now and again, and keep it creeping up. So he's got 2 profiles then, because that's the only way you can do that. The thing is, if you get 2 separate profiles, we'll say that again. If you get 2 separate profiles, can you log in from the same PC under 2 different profiles and run the game? You would have to have 2 separate games, would you not? Or would you set the room up, with a password in one profile, and then alt tab out and log in with the second profile and go and join that room? Would it work? Somebody would have to explain that to me. Well, Mooncake's got another good break ball. The run goes to 23. Couple of balls on the break there, I think. And it's not a bad setup down the bottom of the table here. There's just a couple of blocking balls need dealt with. He can play the combo in the 3 and 4 when he gets there, and that takes care of that corner on the left hand side. Now, he may well have actually played for the 3 and 4 there, but he's blocked himself off with the 10. But, excuse me, so he's actually got no shot. He's got no shot at all. He's going to have to play a combo. But this is a bit far-fetched for a combo. I think it'd be far easier to play the cut in the 2 than it would be to try and play this combo. But he's got it. It's a good shot, especially considering the position of the balls. Well, that's got to be a breach of rules, that, in some way or another. Although there's nothing written in the rules in the code of conduct, I don't think. Well, there's Fulldrische done the old Control-Alt-Delete, I think. He might be going for good. Well, at worst, then, I mean, this is where it gets into this grey area. As far as I'm aware, there's nothing to, I mean, it's a bit of a vague grey area in terms of having 2 separate accounts, because both of them, if they're registered accounts, that means that money's getting paid to Solaris, so they are. And you know, Solaris aren't going to turn down money in that respect. But if you're having 2 paid accounts, what you do with them has to be fair and above board. And if you're up to no good trying to fiddle your rating points with it, then surely something has to be done about it. And the one way of checking that is you can look at the data and see who's been playing who. He's bound to have that on his what do you call it? I can't think of the word, but you know what I'm talking about. Well, Fulldrische has arrived back. That's the first German I've seen with a dodgy internet connection. Well, Mooncake's run is on 29. Well, of course you are. I mean, it becomes an obsession for some folk, which is why, and I keep saying this, that is why in Virtual Pool 3 I set it as a goal to catch and beat Apollon, and then when I did that I quit just to get a higher rating than him. He was at like 2,700, so I think I got to 2017 and then gave up. Or 2015, I think it was. No, 2,715, and then I quit just to annoy him. Well, Mooncake does have a chance to get himself onto that leaderboard here, or, well, to improve himself on the leaderboard, because he's already on it. He had a, what was it a 50 or a 55 run he had to win that match with his last chance saloon visit, against Bedhead to pinch the match. I'm sure it was 55. But he's on course for a chance to better that. Still got a wee bit to go. But he's got a break ball. And that's a pretty good position. Again, he doesn't need to blast this. I just wish he wouldn't blast it, because that cue ball will spring off and run somewhere like that. Commentator's curse. The commentator called it, and Mooncake will never learn by the look of it. The inevitable happened, and the run ends on whatever it was, 36 or something. But somebody needs to have a word with him, because he's doing it wrong as far as that's concerned. You don't have to smash them. You're only trying to nudge a few balls into play and pick them off. The big hit doesn't work. The cue ball going of its own accord, it's going to end up somewhere bad. It's bound to end up like that. But Mooncake has a very comfortable lead. I think every shot that Mooncake's played when he's had a break ball, he's slammed it, and he just does not need to slam it. It's a nice firm stun, but not a slam, because a firm stun is more controlled, and it's less likely that there's enough impetus in that cue ball for it to start running. You'll be unlucky if a ball kicks it into a pocket, but all of that pace is never generally going to be a good outcome. Okay, you might smash the balls all over the place, but it's just asking for trouble and spoiling what could have been a good run. So Fulldrische is looking for a wee bit of respectability in the scoreline. Anything he can get is a bonus, and as long as Mooncake keeps doing stuff like that, he'll be able to get to his first target of 50. That's what he should be aiming for. And the Tommy U results come through. A comfortable win, 150 points to 71. But it does show you that there's a lot of people not looking at the, well, obviously they might not be interested, but they're not looking at some of these matches on my channel and watching what's happening with the guys that are making the better runs. And Fulldrische is just drawing it straight into the pocket. So we're back to the sloppy stuff that we had to start with. Lots of inside, and that's 7 ball looks on, and that was much more gentle, and he still got a shot. Good evening, Popman. I don't, maybe he hasn't. It is a bit far too tight, that. He's got nothing then if he doesn't think he can squeeze it. And try and just miss the 4 and cheat the pocket with pace. That's going in every day of the week. Now you can get the one. And well, he's lucky he's got the shot in the 6, because if that wasn't there again, he was going to be struggling. But I think you can see the immediate problem that Mooncake's got, that he's not really picking a ball out all the time to play for. The fact that he can pot a ball is fine, but the way to go about it, it needs to improve. You know, he's trying to run into balls when he doesn't need to. If he takes the 5, he opens the 9. He doesn't need to do that. Or if he gets in the 5 from the right side, he can then break the 15 and the 3. Things like that are the wrong way to go about it. And now he's on the 5, and now he can play that shot that I was talking about. So he's trying to disturb things when he doesn't need to, really. He just needs to bide his time. Well, I would agree in one sense that he certainly, against Bedhead, he was a lot more focused. But you want to keep that standard. This is a good opportunity to get good on the top 10 leaderboard for the high runs. And this is a perfect match to have that opportunity, and he's frittering away these chances. It's a good opportunity to hone his skills in picking off the balls rather than trying to manoeuvre stuff all the time, putting far too much pace in the ball. That closer control is what he should be working for, because that's what works in every game. And he's playing it too loose because of the opponent he's playing against. Now if it misses it and it keeps going, he's creating that angle. It's gone still a bit straight though. He might be able to get in around the corner and clip something. And that'll do. I don't think there'll be any harm in a firm stun here off this 3. Is he going to play the combo? Because that 11 and 14 is almost on off the jaw. And now he can chip a few out, but he's going to go for the heave-ho again, I think. Big draw to try and nudge things, but the cue ball's running way off the pack. You see, that's another dangerous shot. Plus the fact you're just relying on getting on a ball, and you can't do that. It has to be 100% all the time, and playing that ball into an area. It's only if you're really, really desperate that you do that, and then that's where you hope you get that little bit of running and get on a ball. So we're going for a 3-ball combo. In goes the 4. I mean, the thing as well to remember against Bedhead, I'm pretty certain that Mooncake was keeping it fairly tight as well when he could. And that was the match that Bedhead got the 87 run, wasn't it? And Mooncake was a lot more conservative in what he was doing. And was it Bedhead that Mooncake was playing in the 10 ball tournament, or was it 10 ball or 9 ball in Bedhead? Mooncake had a nightmare in that match in the tournament, and then in his next match it was like night and day. He was a different player completely. I'm not sure whether that's a bot that's on Twitch, but every so often that'll pop up, trying to get people to spend money to buy followers for their channel. Oh dear, there we go again. The big thump to smash the balls everywhere. Where's the cue ball ended? Yes, you've guessed it. And Mooncake's run again ends on 28. So these are runs that have the potential but are falling apart because of careless loose shots on both occasions. No, Keith hasn't been in. Haven't seen Keith. I haven't seen Keith in VP4 since the last tournament. Nope. No sign of him. He suggested 7 or 8 PM tonight. But I mean, when you say suggested, they actually send a proposal, and was the proposal accepted? Because there's nothing in the bracket. Well, give me a second before you go, because what I'll do is I'll tab out for a second just to have a look on Facebook. Hang on. Right, I'm not going to sit waiting on a response. I waited there for best part of a minute but got no response. Well, if I see him, I'll tell him. So Fulldrische is 4 short of his first target, getting to 50. Good evening, Cobra. You're not missing anything here. That needs to keep running. It needs to keep going. It's too straight. It's just off straight, so we can go with a cut and a bit of inside left. Try and hit the side of that pack. Yeah, he doesn't know the shot. He just stunned it. So just the safety. And that's lucky. But now he's locked up. Just asking for trouble with that shot. And again, no evidence of any thought of what he's doing here. And there's never any harm with the roll to the side rail and back to the pack. And if you don't get to the pack, you lose a point, but you've left everything safe if you can get it really close. That's as good a safety as any in straight pull. But if you can punch a ball away from the pack and then lock that cue ball onto a ball, that's even better. Good evening. See you later. Well, as you can see from the response, Cobra, I think everybody's fallen asleep or given up the ghost and gone, because there's not a lot to excite you in this match. It's been careless and sloppy from Mooncake, and Fulldrische, I'm afraid, is way out his depth. You would always live in hope that a player like Fulldrische would try and learn and pick up a few things, but the only way to do that is to watch others playing it. It also helps if you get a wee bit more knowledge and strategy in executing particular shots, but that's what sort of lets down most people in billiard games, is being able to get the right or a reasonable enough technique to get that cue ball sort of doing what you want it to do. But a lot of players don't take their game even to that next level. They don't endeavour to do it. They don't even maybe have the nerve to actually ask somebody and say, well, how do I do this shot? Show me how you do that shot. Because it's the only way you'll ever learn. Because you can bash at balls for years at billiard games in general, but if you don't actually want to learn, and you're embarrassed to ask somebody, how do I do this shot, how do I do that shot, then you'll just remain at that same level. Well, a lot of stuff can be learned by just watching others. Again, it depends on how much you played in real life. I would say a lot of players in virtual pool have generally played one game or other in real life. Many haven't, but a lot of, I mean, give you an example. As far as I'm aware, Albinario wasn't playing in real life pool until he came to Virtual Pool 4. Sorry, Virtual Pool 3, that is. I don't think Albinario was like a player who did generally play in a pool hall or anywhere like that in Sweden. But there's not many people left in much doubt of how much Albinario has come through the game. I know it sounds a bit basic, but if anybody that has bought the offline game and you start off in the training mode with the Steve Daking tutorials, even that, as basic as it is still, you've still learned a lot more in actually going through what the Steve Daking tutorials tell you. Because then you do basic cue ball movement in the latter stages of that training. Even something like that is better than actually nothing at all. But watching people play, which I did in Virtual Pool 3 when I first came online, I spent a lot of time just going into rooms and watching players. You know, how's that? Why's that guy get such a good rating? And I would go in and watch. Oh yeah, I mean, I used to spend hours in Virtual Pool 3 back in the day. Yeah, but I don't have that time now. That's long gone. And consequently, if you're not regularly in the table, I mean, it's like real life in that respect. Plus the other factors come into it. The eyes are going. They're definitely going downhill. So I've got lots of excuses, but mainly the main excuse is table time, and also just being so tired as well. So I've just learned to accept that. I'm not going to be able to spend hours playing the game. In fact, as I said, the time that there's 2 days in the week when I get to play Virtual Pool 4 in a competitive mode, and that's just playing cowboy with the guys in the morning on my Wednesday and my Thursday off, if they're there, because sometimes I'll come on in the morning and there's nobody there. But that's the only time I generally have time for a game, on my days off. The rest of them, you know, I can't keep my concentration for more than 5 minutes. I've many's the time I've fallen asleep in the chair here watching a game. But yeah, it is a lot to do with how much you want to get out of it, and you'll only get whatever you get out of it by the time that you put in it. And experimenting as well. Don't be afraid to go for a shot. That's another thing. So Fulldrische has reached his target. He's now on 59 and needs a better safety. This is just a dead roll to the top of the pack. That's far too heavy, and he's left a cut in the 5. If you can see it, I think. Let's have a look. Maybe not. It might not be as bad as it looked. Yeah, he is going for the 5. We just got to get this flush. But even if it comes, well, He's chipped it away from the rail. So Fulldrische got another chance to get to his next target, which will be like 70. Well, I tell you why. I mean, I was thinking about it earlier on today, actual fact, about balls down the table in straight pool. Now, the one advantage you have in virtual pool 4 is that you can generally pop balls from a distance on a 9-foot virtual table a lot easier than you can on a real life 9-foot table. That's a given. But I would hedge my bets that you don't see a lot of professional pool players leaving balls down the table as the ideal ball to get on the break ball. Their control is a lot more closer and tighter than that. It'd be interesting to get to find a straight pool video on YouTube. I'm going to have a wee look, and the likelihood of balls being left up the table as a way to get to a break ball are probably not very likely, I would say, and that's even without looking at a video. That's before I've found a video. I reckon it's far more cue ball control from the pros, and there's no way they'd ever want to be playing a long shot on a 9-foot table in real life to try and get to a break ball from something that's up in the kitchen. Well, it's a good option, but if you, to be honest with you though, if you break the balls in straight pool and you're in, and you're not slamming them, it's not all that often that a ball is going to end up in the kitchen unless it gets kicked here. There's a fair chance that most of them will all end up in the bottom half of the table, maybe one going over the centre line and to the top half of the table. But if you've got good close control and you can pick your way through those balls, then you must admit it's a lot easier to get to the break ball if you're a lot closer and you're in the vicinity of it with your last ball or your second last ball. But anyway, whatever works in virtual pool 4, because sometimes there's a situation where you've got balls up the table, but you've got clusters down the table as well, and then you're in a dilemma in what to deal with, and then you start running out of balls, and then things like this can happen where you just lock yourself up against a ball and you've got no shot. So he's called the 7. And the cue ball's going in instead. So Fulldrische back to 69, and Mooncake slowly but surely. How long's this match been on? An hour and 18 minutes. It seems a lot longer than that. Well, there's Mooncake, got his ball in the kitchen. And the spin just curved that cue ball into the top of the pack, and that's broken pretty nicely. Well, here's the example here. There's no ball in the top half of the table. All the balls are pretty small margin, a pretty small area that they're in. I mean, they're all within that area there. So that's the line that he's working in. That's the space that he's working in. Now, he can pot that ball and he can leave the one, and that can deal with that problem immediately. Mind you, the one does go. So he had an option there to get into that one ball just to free up the 6 and 2, and he hasn't done it. So again, let's see whether that works out. Well, that'll take care of it. And that's actually worked out very nice, because he's got the one ball sitting in the nominated area for the break shot. So he goes to, what is that, 166. Did I have a look to see who Mooncake was likely to play next? I thought I've even forgot if I mentioned that earlier on. Let's have a look. Oh, why, that's right. It'll be the winner of either Semi-Pro in Acero or Wanwa that plays Mooncake. So it's safe to say that he's definitely going to have to up his game for that match. Well, no, I mean, I agree with that as well. There's nothing as perfect, but then again, when you have balls in a narrow area, it's all about how well you move the cue ball and how well you take advantage of those little cannons just to nudge something and free something when you've got a chance. But anyway, one way or the other, Mooncake found his way out in that one. He's got the break shot. He's on 17. He could be out here. That should be his goal from this visit, is getting this match done and dusted. Let's look at these two balls here. I mean, there's nowhere that that 9 balls go into the pocket, but I wouldn't be surprised if you could actually cheat that combo in the way the way that is sitting against towards the rail. Now, well, it might have to be a bailout shot here, unless he wants to risk the combo or the cut. He's looking at the 4, and that's opened up that part of the table. The 8 ball, well, it's not that bad as a break shot, but he's still got those other 2 balls on the side there, and he's taking care of that with that little cannon. Well, that's still to be proved, Stub. I'll have a check on Facebook once this match is over and see if Keith has responded, and I'll let him know that Mr. Fox will be. I don't know why the hell the pair. I mean, what is it with the pair of them? They can't send a proposal and just accept it and then get it arranged, so both know that the match is going ahead. I mean, what's the problem with this proposal system that people can't use it properly? And I'm talking about you as well, Stubb, because you've pissed about for the last 4 or 5 days. Well, I mean, it's more than likely that's what will happen to Stubb, because he's going to end up letting the cue ball run. He's going to hedge his bets and his potting ability more than anything else, rather than actually a proper way of running the table to keep a run going. We'll see. We'll see if he can live up to his claim to fame. Well, Fulldrische has let Mooncake straight back in. I think he wants this match over as well. Well, Stubb, if you've not been watching all of these matches, and you had enough time to go through them, or I had enough time to go through them and edit all the scratches together, you'd have like 30-40 scratches, and all from shots that were played far too hard, letting that cue ball run loose, and the end result's been more or less the same every time. Well, even Semi's 179 run had its little crisis points that he got himself out of jail on. So you can't have smooth running. Even on big runs, you have to deal with problems. And I can't see Stubb having a big long run without having problems. For that matter, anybody. You know, you have to be right on it all the time, and that's a big ask. And it's so easy, even if you are doing the right things, just to somehow end up locked on a ball with no shot. It's just, that's the way fate is. It can just run like that. Yeah, Acero, I think, has been the player I've been wanting to see, because I still think he's got the right attitude all the time. And I think he could be very, very strong. And I think, as I said earlier, I think that's what Juan was scared of. I think he's doing his best to avoid him. I think Juan will be on. He's bound to be on here in the next day or so. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to say, what's happened with your match? Well, you see, that's a point that Stubb can pot a ball, but if that's all you have in your armoury, it's no good. We've seen where Stubb's his loose positional play has been his undoing a lot of the time, and that's going to be no good in this tournament. And anyway, with that, the match is over. Mooncake comfortably through by 200 points to 69, a finishing run of 16, and we know that Mooncake will either play semi-pro, Acero, or Fan or Wanwa, however you want to pronounce it. So we also saw Mr. Fox was on the stream earlier looking to see if Keith was around, and obviously he hasn't been. So if I can get a message to Keith, and if Keith is available, because obviously we're right on Christmas Eve tomorrow, as to whether he's going to be available to play their match tomorrow night at 8 o'clock or sometime after 8, and if that's the case, I'll be there for it. We've got Hazard due to play Bankster. We've got the Acero match that we're waiting on, if that ever happens. But I'll tell you what, if there's no proposals been sent, that's the worst possible outcome, because that means then it's a toss of a coin as to who goes through. And it wouldn't be good if it came to that. With nothing else on the one loss side. And what we do, yeah, well, there's a match to be played on the 28th at 2 AM in the morning my time. Needless to say, I won't be there for that. That can go ahead all they want. I won't be anywhere near that. Right, so there's nothing else happening until Stubb and Fast Eddie get sorted out, and Fan and Wanwa get sorted out. So until then, that's it for tonight, folks. Thanks for watching. Oh, Keith, I never even noticed you there. Are you still there? Mr. Fox was in the stream looking for you. He said, well, he's there. He's in the lobby. He was, if you were available, he would play tonight, right now. If not, he's available tomorrow night after 8 o'clock. That was a message to pass on to you. Well, as I say, I mean, I was thinking surely either of you have been sending proposals. Does he not know how this system works? I can't answer for him, but I'm assuming that he's got enough common sense to know how it works, or if he's not sure, then he asks. But anyway, he said he'd be here now, and he is here now, and if not tonight, tomorrow night after 8. And unless I know anything different, I'm going to pull the plug in this in a minute. And if not, I'm going to hang around to watch it. Right, well, I would just send him a message. Oh, you're not in the lobby anyway. I'm forgetting you're in the stream. He's in the lobby right now. Hold on, I'll tell him. Right, well, is it going to be after 8 tomorrow? In fact, if you're going to be there after 8 tomorrow, then that's fine. I'll just tell him that. Right, okay then. Right, see you later, Keith. And I'll see you guys later as well, if anybody's still there. That's it for the night. Thanks for watching. Oh, there he's there now. So the message is, Keith will be here tomorrow night after 8 to play your match. He said he sent you 3 proposals, but you haven't sent back a re-proposal or anything. But anyway, it's tomorrow night if you want it. And if that's there and it's on the bracket, I mean, if we're just going to wait till you both turn up tomorrow night, we're not going to have a set time in the bracket. That just keeps us all guessing. Well, I'm off, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care, stay safe, keep your distance, wear your mask, and I'll bid